Dozens of students in South Korea are suing the government after a proctor for this year's big college entrance exam ended the test 1 minute early. And now they're suing. $15,000 each in damages, which is basically how much it costs to prepare for this test for a full year. Now, why would you prepare for a test like this for a full year? Well, it's only offered once a year, and it is critical to the future of these students. So before you say that they're overreacting, hear a little bit about this test. So the 43 students who have signed on to this lawsuit are among the 370 who took the exams at this high school in Seoul. During the Korean language and literature session, the alarm ending the 80-minute test rang 60 seconds early because a test administrator mistakenly thought there was 1 second remaining instead of 1 minute. And to that test administrator, I will say, you had one job. Start the timer, end the timer. Technically 2 jobs. You got half credit at best, unfortunately. So the school tried to rectify the mistake. What they did was, during lunchtime, they gave the students back their papers for 90 seconds, so longer than the minute, but they only allowed them to fill in their solutions for questions they hadn't answered yet. They could not go back and edit any of the questions they had already responded on. And so that isn't enough for these students. They're very worried about their future. And we want to give you a little bit more credit about this particular test. It's the Sunung test. And while this is going on, the country to some extent shuts down out of respect for the test. Actually, why don't we go to a video explaining a little bit of how serious it is.
Welcome to school by younger friends. Students in this notoriously competitive country know the day-long exam can determine not only what university they will attend, but also their career and marriage prospects, and ultimately their status in society.
Exam day has become a national event. These students have shown up early to cheer on their classmates. Latecomers can have a police escort, and planes aren't allowed to take off or land during the English listening test.
Yeah, the military draft board takes a day off. The stock market opens late. Like, this is a major thing. It is difficult to exaggerate. And so, like, if your whole future was riding on maybe a couple points here or there, I would be pretty mad too. And even if they get the money, by the way, this is still a major hit to them. They might have to spend another year studying for it. That's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Helen, what do you make of it?
So my family is from South Korea, and so I know the significance of this test. And they're not kidding when they tell you, like, this test it's essentially the SAT, but like on steroids. Like, it's the SAT if the SAT literally determined the rest of your life. And they're not kidding, like, it determines what college you get into, and the college you get into determines what kind of job you get, and the job you get determines what kind of salary you get, which determines what kind of marriage partner you get. I mean, it is not, none of this is like hyperbole. This test is literally, which I think is a little problematic. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not espousing that one test. What if you're having an off day? Like, what if you had bad oysters the night before? You know what I mean? Your life is ruined because of this one test. What if you have a mansion dingleberry that you happen to not be able, I'm sorry to bring it back, but I had to go there. Anyway, the test is so important, and so like getting shaken like that, really, like I can understand why these students are suing. But also, I think maybe South Korea should re-examine maybe why this one test is determining your entire future. It's a little aggressive, I think.
Yeah, Was?
$15,000 just to prepare for a test. That's eye-opening to me. Obviously, I don't know the sort of class and societal breakdown of South Korean society, but I would imagine not every student could afford to spend $15,000 in preparation for this test. That seems problematic enough in and of itself. But hey, man, the school, the teacher messed up. These people deserve to get their money back. Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. By the way, like, people take it so seriously. Their mental breakdowns are not unheard of during the test. People get sick in between subjects, and not just because of bad oysters or dingleberries. They're just throwing up between them because they're so absolutely stressed out. And look, like the SAT, I think is a good comparison. It does have a big impact on your life. And look, we can say, it shouldn't be taken as seriously, but like, if it is, then what are you supposed to do? You kind of have to spend a year prepping, or as one student took up a habit for a couple months of a vegetable-focused diet, maybe to avoid the oysters before the thing. Yeah, and as you said, Woz, like, if you can afford to put a bunch more money into the prep, then this is sort of going to help to stratify society. We have a little bit of that with the SAT. Some people can afford thousands of dollars in prep. Other people, borrow a book from the library, and that's the best that they could do. But I will say that I don't know how this particular lawsuit is gonna go, but in the past, in April, a court in Seoul awarded $5,200 to students who claimed that in 2021, the bell was rung 2 minutes too early. And outside of South Korea, it can go beyond just fines. In 2012, a man in China was given a 1-year suspended sentence for ringing the bell 4 minutes and 48 seconds early for their national college entrance exam. So you could potentially go to jail, maybe even. But so if anybody watching is like
folks might need to relax a little bit in East Asia, John. I don't know, man. They might need to just chill a little bit.
As an East Asian, I'm with you, Woz. There's a little, there needs to be a little bit more chill in East Asia, for sure.
A little bit, or maybe offer the test twice a year or something. Like just a little bit. Come on, you can have computers grade it. It can't be that hard.
If you enjoyed this video, that's because of our members. They make us independent, they make us strong, and they make us honest. Become a member today by hitting the join button below.